In this video, guys, we're going to look at exiting too early versus too late. How does it affect the mind? Stay tuned. Hey guys, very warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining me. So exiting too early versus too late. What do I mean by this, and why is it really easier on the mind to exit too early, and why we should forgive ourselves a little bit for doing this? So let's look for an example. Let's look at, let's say we're long. Okay, market's chugging up, bang, there's our exit there, and we're all out of the trade. Okay, now if you imagine the price kind of does this, and then does this, and then we exit here. Okay, so in theory, we have actually got out the same point. Imagine that's the same point. We've got out the same point. The market's gone a little bit further for us, but it's gone against us. So why is it psychologically easier to come out too early than it is too late? So if you put all things equal, which I try to do here, now obviously there's an argument to say, well, if you're too late and you lose money, then we can't compare, that's not comparing apples to apples here. We're comparing the same profit, but we're comparing the mindset of this. And why, we shouldn't beat ourselves too much about coming out too early. So look, market goes up, we come out here, market continues higher. You might be thinking, there's a little bit more there. It could have been a bit more. Now the market comes down and you come out here. Now, if you think about the minds and the way you're thinking about the trade during this, if you come out of here, and let's say you've gone long here, you're coming out, you're thinking, that is a great trade. So you've got a boost in your confidence. Your P&L is there. You're out. It's been quick trade, fantastic. You're looking for your next one. You feel good. Now, if you, and again, appreciate this could be various time frames, this could be multiple weeks, could be hours, whatever it may be. But now in this situation where you're here, you're thinking, great, I'm holding on. Now it's coming back and maybe it's sitting and stagnating, maybe it's doing nothing. Your thought process is like, okay, you've got a conflict in your mind. Regardless of the level of trader you are, guys, you're going to be thinking, okay, I need to do something about this here. I need to make a decision. Do I cut the position? Do I add? What do I do? There's more cognitive load and pressure on you to do something here. Do I hold on and look for a break to highs? Is this now a pullback? Is it a reversal? No matter how patient you are, you've still got to make that decision. And very often you're going to make the wrong decision here, and the wrong decision might be to cut it and come out of the trade. So there is a chance that you end up not making so much out of the trade. But regardless of that, if they say you hold on to the trade, it comes back and then you finally exit at the same point here. Think about all the additional pressure you've had to have on your decision making and on the trade that you didn't have if you came out early. So assuming all things are being equal, it's actually better to come out early. Now, listen, let's just make it clear that we want to try and run trades as much as we can, but if we can get to a point where if we could theoretically choose, I know we can't, if we could theoretically choose, come out early, come out late, then always err on the side of the early rather than the late because of the extra pressure. Because what happens is, obviously we just talked about the extra decision-making process, the extra cognitive load there, the actual chance that we could make the wrong decision. Yes, there are opportunities that maybe this goes on and on and on, of course, but all things being equal, if we're coming out late, it just gives us so much more to think about. Then we start to question maybe the trade. Maybe we start to, the opportunity cost because we're still in this trade. There's the confidence that maybe, maybe I should have come out here and all this. And it's such a different kind of frame and focus for the trade. And psychologically, it's so much easier to come out early and shrug your shoulders if it kind of does this because you don't really care. Yes, you might be monitoring it for a re-entry, for example, but you don't care because you've got no skin in the game. You couldn't care less. You might be disappointed if this thing rips off to the upside, of course. And if it rips off to the downside, you might feel smug. But let's say it just sat where it was, you don't care, and so you don't have that additional pressure of having to reevaluate the trade all the time, readjust, make a decision. So early is a lot better than being late. Now, of course, it's worth saying and worth reiterating that, yes, we don't want to come out in the first kind of pulse in our direction, just scalp it if we've got a target out there. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if we have a plan where we want to come out, it's sometimes better if we don't think it's got the extension, if we don't think it's got the attributes to take the legs, to not beat ourselves up for coming out early, because it does a lot of good for us. You know, we take profits, we don't have to deal with all this chop and all this conflict. And sometimes just taking those profits when they're there, and not saying just grabbing them, saying yes when it's almost at your target or at your target, and taking the whole out, is very, very good for you. It's good for your account, it's good for your confidence, it's good in that it frees you up from all this. Now, this is not always the case, of course. We're generalizing with a lot of this stuff here. Often it makes perfect sense to hold for an additional move, for further move. But the point is, I think, don't beat yourself up too much if you're coming out too early. Don't worry about it too much. Don't get too concerned unless it's super, super early, because actually it's just you actually helping yourself out and saying, hey, reduce the load on me, grab the profit, look for the next trade. We don't always have to sit through all this junk just to try and hold the trade as much as we can, because sometimes it's just not in our best interest. All right, guys, see you next one. Take care. Bye-bye.